to find out that Matt Kirak won't be here next week. And PC Del Rizzi will not be here in 2 weeks' time. Or 3 weeks' time.
3 weeks.
Is this construction holiday for you guys, or what?
Yeah, it's VRAil construction holiday.
Oh, you're not going to like BC to do like a train service?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Coast to coast?
It's an ongoing, non-funny joke. I like it.
I know. It's pretty good.
Yeah, good for you.
Okay. He sticks to it.
I do. I went to the washroom this time.
Nice. It's
3 times before I left.
Appreciated by all your team members
Yes.
of the show.
Did you get in your sweatpants?
Right now. Welcome to the Sack Exchange with Matt Kirak, PC Del Rizzi, Eagle, who's at the Nest. And yours truly, Mo Khan, as we now approach Week 8, Week 7 in the books. Let's go into the opening drive. Some great games to look at here. First one we'll look at is Division B, Brocasians, Monstars. Brocasian win this game 36-32. Phil Keller 6 TDs, Rod Mashtub 5 TDs. Sean Brophy killed him with 4 TD catches. Jadariti had 2 TD catches. Matt Kirak will ask this question. We know about conferencing, how weak it is. We'll talk about that a little bit later on here. But was this a season-defining win for Brocasian?
No, it's definitely a pep in their step. They're leading the conference. Not a great feat, but there's definitely they played well. Cutler looked like he was in his groove. And yeah, okay, Brophy killed it, but I still like Lebowski, man. He was all over the field.
Well, I look at this game, and it just seemed like that Monstars could never get in rhythm. And Phil Keller, even though he didn't have as many plays as the Monster offense did, he just capitalized. Deep ball, converted on 3rd and 4th downs. Sean Brophy just killed the entire Monstars secondary and kind of made him look very papier-mâché, so to speak.
Oh, yeah. No, for sure. And I feel like every time that Mashtub had to check down, it was coming to Jad. That's the only guy that, from what I saw, it looked like he threw to the entire time. Every time I turned around, it was in Jad's hands.
PZ, any thoughts on this?
Just a side note, Mo. The Brocasian offense actually had more plays in this game. Actually ran more plays, but I can see what you mean just by
deep balls.
The type of a game that was going on exactly. So while there were a lot of plays, it did seem as though the Monsters were possessing the ball forever and just not capitalizing.
By the way, Rod Mashtubs, have you seen his headshot before?
Like when he goes for a casting call.
Take his headshot from now and take the one that he had from way back when. It's like that graduation thing where your parents would give that baby picture of you. That's what it would look like.
You guys see his headshot, man.
It's like a baby.
Look at it right now, and maybe we'll display it right now to our millions upon millions of viewers who will watch this right now on our network here at the Sportier Cage. When you look at Sean Brophy, in your opinion, is he the receiver of the year in Division B? 33 catches, 439 yards, 14 TDs, 3 games left in the season. At the rate that he's going at, Matty, he could potentially hit 20 TDs.
Well, if you look at the stats, yes, he is. He's number 1. But if he's definitely going to continue. I mean, I feel like Cutler only goes to him and Lebowski the entire game. All he did was run posts last game, I think, and just destroyed their defense. He's definitely going to keep to it, so yeah. Yes, he's going to be receiver of the year. Okay, Mo?
I think so as well. I think when you see a team like this that essentially relies so heavily on one player as they do, that's typically the guy who wins receiver of the year. It rarely comes from a team that's got lots of receivers who do damage across the board. So I'm inclined to agree with Matt.
Yeah, no, for those who are hearing that noise in the background, that's the Sportier Cage in the background. If it's in the cage, you're in the game. What is it? If you're in the game, you're in the cage?
Sure. No, you nailed it. It's whatever you said.
Whatever.
It's whatever you say every time you say it.
Every time you say it, yeah.
Did the Rod Mashtub headshot yet, PZ?
Oh, yeah.
I don't think he was even looking.
Oh, we'll get it to you very shortly.
I saw it. It was very impressive. He has very high hair.
Like it's like a 2005 look or something.
I think he was 15 in that picture. Leave him alone.
Maybe he was. Or I don't know how old he is now.
By the way, none of you noticed the banner behind you is slightly higher than usual, so we can look at
is it really?
Mohan's funky hair, yeah.
Oh, if it's in the game, you're in the cage then. Do we have the headshot now? Here we go. The headshot brought to you by PC Del Rizzi, courtesy of his iPad.
No, it's not. It's not.
It's not it.
It's just his hair.
Well, it's pretty indicative.
So if I was... Oh, damn it. This isn't working at all.
man.
This is a terrible segment, especially for those listening.
there you go.
So if I was Rod Mashtub, I would look like this. Rod, you should join the show. This would be great.
That hair is fantastic.
He looks so sad.
I think he's worried about the concerns of life.
Yeah.
Maybe he was predicting he was going to be on this show in 10 years' time, and now
Next
he's
to
there.
Mo. Yeah.
Maybe.
That would make anyone sad.
Bearskins win an emotional game, 45-42 over 6+R. Neil Edson, a fantastic game, 7 TDs, 230 yards passing. Fred Vian, 6 TDs, 191 yards passing. The Bertoldi-Mark Belvedere combination, 4 combined TDs. 5 Skin players had 1 TD catch in this game here. No Alex Papish, of course, he is out for the year. Who knows for how long with his serious injury he has sustained. How emotional was this win for the Bearskins, given what they've gone through the last couple of weeks, especially losing the guy like Papich?
Well, definitely. They for sure needed it, and they played an outstanding game. Bertoldi, I've watched this guy for years now, and I love watching him play. He's awesome. Just so nonchalant, and I'll beat you deep. He's quick. He's got great hands.
Big physical guy, too.
Big physical guy, yeah.
He's a classic old school player. Doesn't play with gloves.
No gloves, no socks, no high shorts, whatever.
He wears headband.
He does it.
He wears a headband. No gloves.
sleeves like Marco.
Yeah, 00 he wears.
Doubles in.
Your thoughts, Puzzles? Because again, this is a team that you might play in the playoffs at some point if they do qualify, which
You
I think
won't.
they will. No, I won't.
Well, with Bearskins, it just comes down to how Ensign plays, and no team has been more inconsistent than Bearskins. They came out the season letting it up, setting the league on fire, and since then they've struggled. Come back in this game, have a great game. So it's hard to get a pulse on who exactly they are, but it's good to see them heading in the right direction. Hopefully, they can get more consistent performances heading into the playoffs. Mode.
Is he not like the Mark Sanchez of Division B? Great team around him, but the quarterback play has not been.
I thought you meant because he would look great in GQ magazine.
that was years ago.
Yeah,
I
so
find
it
that
was.
his release as a quarterback is Simon Dagenet-esque.
It's not as bad.
No.
Nothing's that bad.
Nothing's that bad.
I know.
And if you
But-
actually watch that game on Game of the Week, you'll notice a lot of the completions are deep down the field where a guy's just burned a guy one-on-one. So you have Peterson catching it downfield, Bertoldi catching it downfield.
And that's the thing that confused me, actually, if you'll permit me, Mo.
Yes.
Watching this game, you're seeing a team with a lot of speed like 6+R not being able to defend the likes of Peterson, Belvedere, and Bertoldi, which I found surprising because this is a team that's really quick across the board. So I don't know why there was receivers running wide
In
open.
watching the game, Peterson, he's fast, but I don't know. Maybe he wasn't in it that game. He dropped a couple balls that were in his hands.
But he was still open. And I'm saying, like, the
Over the
6+R's
top.
defense
Yeah.
wasn't able to keep up.
No,
and
they
I don't
weren't.
understand why.
When you have guys like Justin Blanchard, Omar Jackson, in particular guys are playing
Dean
the back
Dimitri.
end. Dean Dimitri, guys
getting
are playing.
complacent?
Got on rushing
Sorry?
the quarterback.
Complacency? I don't know.
Could be. I mean, I spoke to Blanchard after the game, and he said, well, look, a lot of my teammates took it hard, but we're going to lose a game at some point, and it's better to lose it
Better
in,
lose
in
it
the
now.
season.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. But you need to step your game up.
Yeah,
But
for
if you
sure.
saw Marc-Andre Vienne, it looked like he just lost a Super Bowl, like he was the Seahawks when they lost to the
Yeah,
Patriots.
he was upset.
we don't know what's going on at home though. Maybe like he left some chicken out. Maybe he kicked his
stroking his
kitten on
hair
the way
back.
out. Maybe he's worried about losing his hair.
Oh, I doubt it. He's got,
He's got so much
some
hair.
flow.
Seriously, it's awesome.
Good flow.
With this win, though, by the Bearskins, do you think they can run the table and potentially finish for first place?
No. I think for 6+R, it was just a bad game. I think the Bearskins, I mean, they're going to have to stick to what works, and if they continue doing what they did last game, they should have some success, but teams are going to pick up on it. I mean, he pump fakes, rolls out to one of each side, and then drills it long. I mean, it's not that hard to play defense against.
Well, a costly loss, absolutely, because now they're in a tie with my Darksiders, led by my boy PZ Delarizzi.
Your Darksiders.
Your dog.
My Darksiders.
I consulted with Mo heavily, obviously.
Here comes the wagon.
My Darksiders, as they're tied in. Guess what? They're only a point up on Monstars for third place. So
I just wanted to remind you guys, back in week 1, Mo Khan asked the question to Matt Kerouac, can Darksiders or 6+R be sneaky good? And the answer by Matt Kerouac was no.
no. No.
Emphatic no.
No.
You know what? The conferences don't even matter. I don't know why you're
No, they don't
saying
matter.
points. So
No, but obviously playoff matchups does. I mean, you end up being a top seed. You avoid playing.
He gets to play Dagenet first round if you
Exactly.
finish
That's
first,
like
probably.
it's like a bingo spot, right? You get that automatic.
and Marco, that's all he throws to anyway, from what I hear.
He's
quadruple cover and you're
He's
fine.
the Sean Brophy to Simon Dagenet. All right, finally, so they come over a big deficit at halftime, down 31-20, winning 39-37 over the Rainmakers. Ryan Castor, 6 TDs. Kevin Wyeth, 5 TDs and 2 INTs. 5 players caught a touchdown pass in this game. Could the Rainmakers pay off an opponent finally to win a game? It seemed like they had this game in control, up by 11.5. They could have been up by 18, couldn't convert. They just can't buy a win here, Matty.
I don't. I keep saying it week in, week out. I feel like every week they're getting less and less energy to play. I don't know. They have zero intensity. They don't care. They're just there to have fun, which is fine. But I mean, if you're gonna go 0-10, like the a la Dolphins or whatever.
So
Detroit
fire
Lions.
from Ryan
Detroit
Kastner
Lions.
after the game, though.
Yeah.
So I mean, there was,
But it's the
some passion there.
defense that is just, there's nothing there. There's no spark. Even though they did get 2 picks, Kevin, I heard, was rotating his shoulder again, the old Kevin Wyeth move. So if that's the excuse, but
Is that your target when you go rush him?
his arm?
Yeah, his shoulder.
No.
If
Because he wears
rotating-
belts around his arm.
No, he just, I don't know. His ankles. If he tries to move, I'll swipe at him.
Actually,
Nice.
I heard he had hurt his hand like almost right before the
Kingston.
game started. Yeah, in Kingston. But then even right before the game, during warm-up, he got one of his fingers crunched on the ball or something. So
Rule 76 avoiding crashing. No excuses, play like a champion.
The
he still
finest-
won.
The Montreal's finest attitude, we know about this team for many, many years. They carry a swagger, a bravado that they like to have on the football field. Is it starting to wear thin on everyone who watched this game? Guys during the game who I was watching it with thought like, look, it's starting to become annoying with how they carry themselves. Nate Taylor got 2 OCs, one the last play of the game, then one afterwards. So what do you think here, Matty?
Well, look, we play them often. I played with them. Don't get me wrong. I love playing with the Taylor brothers and whoever else, Quiche, on the team. Quiche is one thing on the field. The intensity's there. He'll come in your face, but after the game, it's done. And I find like this year, the Taylor brothers are taking it to the next level. This game's fun. We love hanging out with everyone after the game or whatever.
We don't hang out.
Not, yeah, never mind, Mo.
For good reason.
For good reason.
We hang out, Eagle.
But at the end of the game, we're all friends. We're all boys. There's no point in dragging it on and getting OCs and getting suspended and whatever. It's got to end once that whistle blows. It's got to.
Puzzles, your thoughts? I know you've played in some high-end competition before.
It's just it's annoying. Like you're saying, Matt. Like they're all familiar faces, especially once you get to Division B, Division A, Division 1, 2, 3. Like you've faced everyone at least 5 or 6 times by this point. So like. What are you pounding at your chest for? You know what you're all about. You know what the other team's all about. So by this point, you would figure there'd be more respect amongst players.
Well, I mean, knowing me and being on like people that have been on my teams, I've showed up late because of fights in my soccer games. But there's no respect in that league.
Yeah.
No one gives a shit.
Yeah.
Where in this league, I find that it's nothing but respect. Everyone respects the league. There's no point in dragging it on and continuing it and making it into something bigger than it should be. It's just a football game. Be intense on the field and then drop it. That's it.
I can only imagine how the Taylors are during checkers or chess.
It would be hilarious.
Oh, man.
Nate would eat the pieces. Straight up. If you told him there was protein in there, crushing those pieces.
He told me to look at his tricep last week, though. It was hilarious. Look at that tricep, though.
Just a number here, guys. What percentage do you put on the Rainmakers making the playoffs?
All they need is one big win against the Maniacs.
You have to beat them by at least 7+ points.
That's doable. So 97%.
Okay.
I just don't see it this season. Like,
need to win.
Do we know that they'll even bring out like a suitable roster that week? Because every week it's a different roster, it's a different group of guys. Yeah, we saw their best showing this week against Montreal's finest.
But they always put up a good show
but
against
that's what I'm saying. They
But
always
they're this
do.
close.
Every time.
This close.
I've seen that movie before, and every time it ends the same way. Rudy gets carried off the field.
Are you calling Kastner Rudy?
Absolutely.
So then they're going to win.
I guess. All right, fine.
He'll get a
Junior
tackle at the end of the game.
Just because I totally don't remember that movie.
He gets a tackle at the end of the game.
Yes, I know.
okay.
So there we go. So yeah, you know what? I've changed my mind. Matt, you've convinced me. 97%.
Fair enough. Coming up next, we'll talk about the Division B playoffs. We'll get what Matt thinks, a Dear Matt segment here, on what he thinks each team should do in their pursuit for a playoff or a championship like the Roosters and Donkeys are. Stay tuned on The Sack Exchange with PZ Eagle, who's in his nest right now, Matt Kirak, who will be away next week, and you're Shirley Mocon at the Sportier Cage. If you're in the game, you're in the cage. Calling the Audible has been brought to you by the English Montreal School Board's DEAL program. Distance education for all learners will allow you to obtain your high school diploma or prerequisites for SAGEP or vocational studies from the comfort of your own home. It's never too late to go back to school. Learn anywhere at your own pace and get your diploma. Call 514-788-5937 for information or visit www.distanted.ca for more details. Welcome back to the Sack Exchange with Matt Kirak, Mokan, PZ, and of course Eagle. It's time to talk about Division B and the surge in Conference A. Finally, a team over 500 in Brocasian at 4-3. In last week's crossover games, out of the 5 games, 4 were from the Conference A winners by an average score of 7.5 points. And when you think about it right now, it could be a fluke. Who knows? It could be a change of direction. Who knows here? But in your mind, Matt Kirak, should we hold off on an all-Conference B final that we've been talking about for the last 8 weeks?
No, I don't think so. I think Conference B, there's 3 of the 5 teams are really strong, and I think they're a lot stronger than the Conference A teams. And it's just, it's a bad week for those 4 games or whatever it was, those guys. It's 1 week. It's week 7. Who cares?
Well, I look at it this way, right? I saw all the games in Division B the last couple of days earlier in the week, and I just thought that the powerhouses, right? The Dark Stars minus them, but 6+R, Monstars, Prez, these teams didn't close out when they had to. I saw from the commission loss, I thought Wolverines played a fantastic game. They came up in the clutch when they had to. I think the winners in Conference A all came up with a big play at some point that turned momentum in their favor here. And I think if you want to be elite, you got to close out teams, especially the weaker teams or the lesser talented teams that they went through this past week.
I'm going to say, from what I've seen in past seasons, 6+R and Monstars, they really kick it into high gear come playoff time. And I don't think that's going to change this year.
Dark Starters.
Moose?
My Dark Starters.
Same thing. Whatever.
Well, Moose traditionally has not kicked it into high gear in playoffs, so we're hoping
that's
this will
why
change.
I didn't mention them, and you did. But then again, it's also a different year. They're doing well.
Different team, though. There's 3 guys from Moose on this team, so
Moose.
well, I guess.
Was it supposed to be Moose and Friends or something? Or
Originally, because it was supposed to be a merger of Moose and Buddies, so it was
Right.
a play on words, but then we lost
So
a lot
smart.
of players from both sides, yeah.
your thoughts, Puzzles?
I really wasn't listening to Mo, so he'll have to repeat the question.
Well, think about it right now. 4 out of 5 games last week were won by teams from Conference A. By an average score of 7.5 points. Each team scored 30 points in the victory here.
So you're saying there was one bastion of hope from Division B this week
Yes.
who actually won their game?
They beat the commission.
Yes.
But in your thoughts right now, was it a fluke or maybe a surge for this division to make it competitive as we move along?
Look, honestly, there are some good teams out there. The biggest thing with especially teams like Brocasian, Bearskins, Wolverines is they just haven't played up to their standard every week. But I mean, as for whether or not we'll see an all Conference B final, I just have to say, well, we'll be there. So the other half of the bracket, that's up to them.
Well, we don't know who's going to play you guys in the final.
exactly. That's what I'm saying.
exactly.
I'll give it to you. You might be there.
Maybe.
Maybe in a Super Cup we'll have R&D against Dark Starters.
Have fun with that.
There'll be so much chirping in that game.
Oh, man.
I'd run into you every time, Russian. Awesome. Every single time.
Awesome.
And fly like I just got shot, like Kevin Wyeth.
You wouldn't have to pretend.
Can we do like a demonstration of the Wyeth
I
flop?
wasn't there. Marco could do it for you. He was my reporter on scene,
Okay.
giving me the updates.
Monster 6+R woes. When we look at this right now, are you more concerned about 6+R or Monstars? Given again that Monstars tied commission, they barely beat lightweight and lost to Brocasian here. 6+R 1-point victories a few times over Brocasian and Wolverines, and they, I guess, not choked away the game against Bearskins, but they had to lead in that matchup here. Who are you more concerned about?
Because I picked the Monstars. Plus,
Because they got the Matty curse now.
yeah. And, I mean, poor Ryan, man. This guy's always injured, Ryan Aridi. That's their key element to their defense is him rushing. I mean,
He's like the Rafael Nadal of FPF.
a tennis reference, really?
Yes.
The only thing that breaks more often than Ryan Aridi is his drone.
My head hurts for so many reasons right now.
That's a Mo Khan type joke.
Yes, you've been hanging out too much.
Take away his mic, please.
Your thoughts, Puzzles.
Honestly, like I've been saying all season, I don't like the way 6+R has been playing. They've been playing down to their competition. They probably are the best team in the division, but they can easily be a 3-4 team by this point in the
Well,
season.
the 1-point victories, right?
You need
Yeah,
1 point
multiple.
victories. Leave it alone.
It's not enough. It's not good enough.
It's a win.
I'm sorry. Fine. It can easily be a loss. You know what I mean? To me, they're too many 50-50 games. They should play up to their standard and not down to their opponents. That's all.
Is it okay? So it's a matter of closing out games then.
I believe so,
right?
yes.
What about? Would you agree with that? Closing
Oh,
out
yeah,
games.
absolutely. I mean, these teams are struggling to finish the games. You know, they've been up 2-3 scores coming into the second half, and then they win by a point or barely a score. It's you can't do that.
Predators' chances. Do you believe the Preds have an outside chance at first place? They're at 4-3 in fourth place of their division. Of course, we know about your team, Darksiders, 6+R Monstars. Could they maybe, just maybe, make a move up the ladder?
Based on Pisa's hatred for J-Flow, no.
And they do play the Darksiders and 6+R.
That's going to be some good games. That'll decide it for them, definitely. If they're going to be a contender, if they can keep it close or beat one of those two teams, I think that they can have some pretty good potential in the playoffs.
All right, yes or no, Puzzles.
Did the Predators find a quarterback yet?
Why? What happened?
Well, because James Floriani was the quarterback heading into the season, so.
Oh,
There we go.
nice.
See what I did there? See what I
Gotcha.
did there? Honestly,
Mo doesn't get it.
There's a chance, but I just think that their tougher games are all at the end of the season. So
Yeah, that's the best
might
way to
be-
roll into playoffs.
yes, I mean, look, if they do get there, they're definitely battle tested. But I think they just need too much help in addition to winning those games.
Yeah.
To be able to get first place, which doesn't matter because everyone makes playoffs anyway.
Pretty much.
Well, the top 8
Mo
make
Khan makes playoffs.
We don't, everyone gets a gold star. Commission, what chances do you give them? They're 0-6-1. They do have the Preds, Bearskins, and Brocations to end off the year of 3 tough games. Any chance, given the fact that they're 3 points behind the next team, which is the Wolverines and Raiders?
I think it's more likely that you're not going to wear sweatpants for them to make the playoffs.
Wow, that's
Ooh.
pretty
So if I
low
don't wear
chances.
sweatpants, they'll make the playoffs. Or if I wear sweatpants, they will make the playoffs.
Now, well, no, I'm saying subconsciously you'd have to do it.
okay.
They're two isolated events. He's just saying.
Colliding.
I don't
They're not
think
colliding
I
at
don't
all.
think they have a good chance.
Thoughts, Puzzles?
To be honest, I was impressed by their defense. It was one of the better defenses we saw all season, but they just didn't have the offensive chemistry to be able to put points on the board in key moments.
Couldn't
And
get Alex Hovington the ball.
But you know what? That's the problem, though, right? I think that the ever-changing roster every week, there's a new guy coming in. There's 2 guys not there, 3 guys coming in.
That's spring season, though. That's what happens.
But
man.
that's the thing. But we've seen it carry over from winter at times, right? Some teams are like that. I just think that hurts chemistry
Absolutely.
for teams in general, especially in Division B.
Has a team ever brought in like 48 guys and then won a championship during the year? Moose, no.
I was going to say, as a captain of a team that usually brings in 48 players a season, no.
No. You need to
Minimum.
have your core
At
guys
least.
there at all times.
Yeah.
And yes, okay, a spare here and there if there's a guy missing, but you need to have chemistry. That's the only way to win.
Fair enough, then. All right, it's now time for our Dear Maddie segments, where I guess Peasy will ask
we got
Maddie.
we got some letters in the mailbag, Mokan.
Where's our little mailbox where we can
And,
open it up? And
This is no
ask-
prep.
No
Say it.
prep whatsoever.
Division A related
Division
question.
A teams wrote to us, Matt,
All right.
about their problems, and they know about your psychological training that Via Rail has paid for. They know that you're the kind of guy who can help. So they said, you know what? Give us some feedback, Maddie. Dear Maddie, how can you help us? So for the Dear Maddie segment, the first team that wrote to
Sorry,
us.
it's Dear Marty, actually.
Dear Marty, and that was Matt Kerouac who actually called it that in their pre-production. But the first letter comes from the Maniacs. It says, "Dear Maddie, we thought we'd be at this point in the season. We thought we'd be about 1-6, 2-5, but still, we're not quite fulfilled. What can we do to be legitimate contenders this season?"
Stop throwing it deep to JR every single play.
There also Godfrey Abu.
And Godfrey, but it's usually to JR. Just stop doing. He played us last week, and near the end of the game, he started using his legs a little bit. He started throwing shorter routes, and he was having success. And then he chucked it up deep, and it got picked off.
Not good.
No. So stop throwing it deep to JR. That's your key to success. Sorry, JR. You'll get short passes.
All right, question number 2.
Question number 2 comes from the Gladiators. They said, "Dear Maddie, we have a complex because many people have talked about how short we are. We even got Paul Lapierre to help counteract that. Still, we find ourselves at 5-2. How can we be taken seriously as a contender in Division A?"
Beat the Finest in a couple weeks. Don't beat us. Don't show up to our game. I don't care. But beat the finest. That's it. That's all.
Speaking of the finest, they wrote a letter.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they did. They said, "Dear Maddie, we're the greatest team of all time."
So this was from Rajji?
Absolutely. Look at my hair; it is awesome. How can we stay atop the throne with the emergence of your own Roosters and Donkey riding our coattails, even though they've only beat us once so far?
Cut your losses, give up, and go home. It's our turn now. That's it.
So don't show up for the finals, you're referring to.
No, they can show up, but they just expect to lose.
Should they, if you guys play, say, Glads in the finals, that they hand you the trophy as opposed to the
I'm
presidents?
going to make Quiche hand it to me for sure.
And here, I'll be like the guy. And please welcome Keyshawn Thompson, who will hand the trophy to Matt
Quiche
Kerouac.
brought it to the semifinals in the winter, and we thought it was to screw with us and put it in our face, but he actually had to bring it back
Yeah,
that
he did.
day.
Rob, yeah.
But it pumped up our team a little bit. You see what he's doing? He has the trophy, and he's rubbing it in our face.
You asked me that question on air in the finals. I said, no, he actually brought it back to the commissioner.
Yeah, whatever.
All right, next question.
This one's actually, we just got this in from the,
you
from
just got it in?
Legends.
Okay.
And it says, "Dear Maddie, we have 4,700 players on our roster this season, yet we've still been somewhat competitive. We are the Legends. No one took us seriously. How can we make our mark in Division A this season? What is a measure of success for us this season?"
Corey Pecker needs to show up. I don't know how many weddings this guy has this summer, but
He's got too many friends.
way too many friends. Did you ever see the video of him scoring 3 shorthanded goals in
Your
hockey?
Otters, yeah.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Do it in football.
Well,
How about that?
Well,
try not to be short-handed, though. Why they have so many players in the first place?
there's Corey Pecker and Connor McDavid and Erie Otter history.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was very impressed, but now it's time to flag post football shorthanded goals. I don't really care.
We got a letter in from the Rainmakers. They wanted to know where they can buy steroids and will that help them beat the finest?
Yeah, just give it to the calmest people on the team so they can get a little bit of intensity. I feel like Kastner just sits there and just, drinks a bottle of water and talks about his day and then goes and throws a pass. That's too bad, guys. Like, come on.
Oh, we got one last one. Actually, it's from your teammate, Marco Masiotra, who says...
That's from Theo Jaya.
No, this one's actually from Marco. It says,
Okay.
"Why don't you guys talk about me more?"
No, I'm not even going to go there. And your brother just did something that completely distracted me behind you.
He got naked, didn't he?
No,
He released some gas. We are in the industrial part of Quebec.
Why don't I talk about Marco? Does he really want to know?
Yeah, he absolutely wants to know. Why don't you talk about it more?
Because that's just small face.
he wants to know whether or not you have a poster of him on the back of your bedroom door.
He has a poster of himself on his own door.
I don't doubt that.
He really does. It's
Are
him.
you able to go in this room and take a photo of this to show to our viewers?
I could for sure.
All right.
I will.
When you come back from your Via Rail trip.
And ruined.
And that concludes our segment of Dear Maddie.
Dear Marty.
Dear
Dear
Marty. Dear Marty. All right, it's now time for our picks of the week. 3 games to look at here with puzzles. Let's dive into the game. So, Marty,
Unfortunately, I am unable to load the prep from in front of me, so if you can hand me a copy of your prep,
I can.
I'll tell you what the conversations with the wise guys had us looking at this week. We have a game between the Rainmakers and the Legends. Legends are favored over the winless Rainmakers by 4.5 points. Marty Kerouac, what's your pick?
I'm not picking the Rainmakers. I'm not doing it. I'll pick the Legends, but not to cover.
So you're picking the Rainmakers.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. I don't bet.
Evidently. MCon.
Give me the Legends to win this game outright, and they will cover the point spread.
That's why you're taking the Legends.
Last game that they played each other, they had a couple of pick sixes, so it could be the difference again this week. Who knows?
2 teams had a huge win in Division B this week. They will face each other, and only one will walk away the victor, unless it's a garbage tie. That is the game, of course, between Brocasians and Wolverines, where Brocasian is favored by 3.5 points. Marty, take it away.
I'm going to take Brocasian. I'm sorry, Tony. You're not doing it for me this year, man.
I agree. Brocasian all the way through.
Come on.
Brocasian and to cover, both guys?
Yes.
Do the P's. Whatever I say, you have to counter it.
Oh, here you go, Pete. Let
Counter.
me swipe up for you.
I can't use your antiquated technology,
I can't believe he
Mokan.
has the BlackBerry with the ball still.
Yeah.
There's no ball.
No, there's a ball.
We know there's no ball. In the final game of the evening, we have a game between Monstars and Darksiders. Darksiders will feature some changes in their roster
I don't
this
care.
week.
We're winning this
Are
game,
you not
guys.
snapping?
We'll see.
I'll pick
We'll
them if
see
you're
what
not.
happens. But the experts say Darksiders are still favored by 1.5. Marty from Back to the Kerouac.
If you're not snapping, I'm picking them to cover, and I'll add points.
I don't. I mean, I wish I had an in on the team to tell you what those roster changes were. Unfortunately, nobody talks to me, so I may not be invited to snap for the game. Who knows?
Yeah, I'll take you guys. I don't want to.
Come on, you know who I'm picking.
MCon.
You know who I'm picking.
You going hard on Darksiders?
You know it.
Go hard or go home.
Exactly.
And that's our picks of the week,
We're in the
gentlemen.
cage. We're in the.
They usually go home.
What did?
Eventually. I mean, we don't live here.
Well, you live not too far from here,
I
actually.
basically live. Whoosh.
Right over here.
What did you learn on today's episode of Puzzles?
I learned that Justin Blanchard believes that power rankings are just FPF standings. Because if you look at his power rankings week to week, it's the most boring thing of all time.
No.
Maybe you should get your ass out of France and watch a game.
He
does.
actually put the finest ahead of us because they beat us.
So he watches one game,
One game.
and that's your power ranking.
Yeah.
Even though R&D has a tiebreaker over the finals. Eagle, what did you learn on today's episode?
I learned that Facebook is having problems with its document attachment, and so we're kind of flying blind tonight.
Wait till the next show where I don't
Gonna
have
be-
a prep.
Oh, I
and-
don't either. It's going to be
producer.
great. Stay tuned.
Marty?
I just noticed you have earrings.
Thank you.
No, it's not a compliment. I'm just saying I noticed it.
Observation.
An observation.
I just noticed there's this guy. Thank you.
I noticed that Marty is not a bandwagon Seahawks fan. He actually owns Seahawks paraphernalia. This gorgeous
I went
zip
to
off.
Seattle. It's the only reason why I own it. I'm not a Seahawks fan. And now Peace's brother is stunned by your earrings because I noticed them.
Marty will not be here with us next week. We'll have a replacement for him. Who knows who? Maybe it'd be Puzzles. Maybe it'd be Dave Del Rocca. Because coming up next is Super Flag Bros with the two Del Roccas here at the Sportier Cage. If you're inside the fence, you're in the game.
That's not it at all.
Good morning, London.